How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid Group. But before I get started, I must say I love talking with you guys inside of the comment section and hearing different perspectives. So one of the things that I want to bring up when it comes to a stock like Lucid, there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of euphoria coming into the play. I'll talk about it more in this video and as far as price predictions, but one thing I want to make sure you really understand, if you're looking at this as a long-term investment, it is very important that you're timing your entries correctly. You do not need to be paying a high premium for a growth stock like Lucid. Being patient will help you out in the long run. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. The reason why this is important because we want to know how Lucid looks in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. And in regards to the bullish case scenario, I must say it is looking really good. But anyways, then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information and as well as the recent institutional ownership. The reason why the short interest is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and the selling behavior like on the Friday amongst institutions and as well as on the retail side. And then we're going to take a look at the turnover ratio because we want to see, is it mostly traders going in and out of this play or is it mainly people who are holding on to their shares? We're going to find that out. And then when all of that is done, we're going to go into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $41.80, being up 12.61%. On the low, it tested $36.17, and then on the high, testing $41.92. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 113.881 million shares, and then for the average volume over 10 trading days being at 115.766 million shares. So when you have this kind of volume coming through Lucid stock, you can see strength in price action like this. Now, when we take a look at our 1-year daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 82.21. So it is red hot in that overbought territory. And then when we take a look now at the moving averages on the chart, you can see we have strength above the 100-day, the 50-day, the 200-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA, with the 50-day crossing over the 100 and as well as the 200, and we see this bullish move happening from Lucid. So what could possibly happen going in on Monday? Yes, we could possibly see a move going to $50. Yes, that is very clear. Whether it's going to happen on Monday or sometime next week, this is very achievable. If we take a look at this candle, there's a lot of demand, there's a lot of interest, a lot of buying coming through Lucid, and we have a big time gap that we need to fill right over here. Now, if we decide to pull back, I want to see support continue to hold at that $36 level. But for the most part, what we want to see is it actually hold up 40. If it could hold up that $40 range, then of course we can look forward to seeing that push more likely. And what I was talking about in my previous videos, what I wanted to see from Lucid is being able to hold up at least $35 and $33. And it did exactly that, having support at 36 and then making the move that it did on the Friday. So keep this one on the watch list. Anyone who's a long-term investor, please don't be buying at these particular prices. You are paying quite the premium, and you can see clearly even from the RSI down below, it is overbought. So just wait for it to cool off a little bit if you're looking at this as far as taking a long-term position or even adding to your position overall. So now let's jump into the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at November the 5th, we have Limbrook Capital with a closed position. We also have Advisory Services Network with a closed position, but we also have Advisor Group Holdings that purchased 1,000 shares. We have Moores and Cabot that purchased just over 30,000 shares, and we also have Cooks and Pierce and Co. that purchased just over 54,000 shares. Now, when we take a look at the short interest information, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 34.70%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 22.9 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 3.5 million, updated 12 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 0.67%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 4th, which was Thursday, it was at 37.65, and then the close for Friday that just passed, it was at 34.70. So we do see a decrease there, so it'll be very interesting to see what it will be on Monday evening. But for the most part, Lucid still continues to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why you want to keep this on your watch list. And also know there's going to be a lot of volatility when it comes to this play. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we can see here on the inflow was 1,013, and then on the outflow it was 950. When we take a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 17.52. On the medium, it was 545, and then on the small, it was 451. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 3.22, and then on the medium, it was 527, and then on the small, it was 420. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for November the 5th, it being at 14.3 million for inflows, and we could see throughout the whole entire week institutions were loading up on shares of Lucid. When we take a look at the breakdown now, you can see on the small we had a lot more buying than we had selling. When we take a look at the medium, same thing, and then when we take a look at the large, of course the same thing. 17.52 million versus 3.22 million. That's insane. Now when we take a look at the turnover ratio, we can see it's right around 7.04%. So you know what? This is actually really good, because even though there's a good amount of traders that are making money in the short term in this stock, there are many people who are continuing to hold on to their shares. So taking that into consideration, it is bullish for anyone that looks at Lucid for the long term. But if you're thinking about getting into a new position right now, I would highly suggest that you be patient and wait it out. So let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid Group, it's definitely going to be an exciting week, especially going into Monday. When taking a look at the overall chart, Lucid could possibly get to $50 this week. And that's one thing I want you to make sure you keep this play on your radar, especially if you want to trade off of it. Anyone that's looking at Lucid as a long-term investment, for sure, you should be smiling right now. I know many of you were able to get in at the $20 range. Some of you got into the low 30s. And of course, many others like myself were able to get a position in the $16 to $17 range. But things are looking really good. And what I want to see from Lucid, though, is being able to hold up that $40 level going into the Monday. If it could do this, then the likelihood of going to 50 is very high. Of course, one thing that I want to bring to your attention is the infrastructure bill. We had some big time successes. All we need is Biden to sign off on this. So there's going to be a lot of stocks that you're going to want to keep on watch. But to make sure that we're staying on topic here, for Lucid, it is definitely some great news and will serve as a catalyst. Another thing is they opened up a new studio in Washington, D.C., and I just love it. Lucid doing their thing on the operational side. And these are one of the things you really want to look forward to if you are a shareholder. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, this play does continue to have short squeeze potential. And it's part of the reasons why, if you have a lot of buying pressure coming into this stock, it can continue to make moves to the upside. But one thing I want to make sure I'm very clear about, I am not a bear whatsoever when it comes to Lucid. I believe in the long-term prospects. I want to see them succeed, but at the same time, I do care about you guys. So if someone's looking at my video and they're saying, well, you know what? Yes, I need to buy Lucid now, please do not do that. I know this is not financial advice whatsoever, but seeing how overextended the stock is, it's just not a wise decision to buy in at the current prices of where it's at. And I don't care how much hate I'm going to get for that, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure when you get inside the stock market, you're using your money wisely. You're looking for the right investments. And I also want to make sure you're being patient and you're strategic when it comes to your overall entry. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.